Am I the a-hole for not letting my ex move in with me when she is trying to leave her controlling husband? I have a 16-year-old son with my ex, a girlfriend from high school. We were never married, but I have been involved in my son's life throughout his life. About 7 years ago, my ex got married. My ex's husband is a jerk, and he and my son never got along. He has 2 kids from a previous relationship, and my ex and he have 2 kids together. My ex is a stay-at-home mom. 4 years ago, after battling for years, the court awarded me full custody. Despite living only about an hour from my ex, my son has heard very little from her during the last 4 years. In the last year, we have not heard from her at all. About 2 weeks ago, I got a call from my ex and she was crying. She told me that she was ready to leave her husband. I asked why she had decided to leave him. She told me that she discovered he was cheating. She confronted him and told him he needed to stop. But he laughed at her and told her he would not stop. He told her she was free to leave, but she would leave with little because of their prenup. She wants to stay at my house. I have a rather large home with her 2 younger kids until she can figure things out, get a lawyer, and get her own place. I do not want her to stay. I talked to my son about it, and he does not want her here. I called her back and told her no. My ex called my sister, who then called me. My sister chastised me for not letting her stay. She said she could stay in the garage and not bother us. We have a garage apartment with 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and a kitchen. I told my sister I did not want her here, and my son does not want her here. My son feels a certain way about his mom, and our home is a source of peace and comfort for him. I will not do anything that could even potentially interrupt his peace. I told my sister she was free to invite my ex to live with her. My sister said that was impractical. My sister lives a couple of states away. I'm still not letting my ex move in. My sister suggested I could give my ex money for her own place because I can afford it. I told my sister she was free to give her money, but I am not giving my hard-earned money to a person who owes me more than $10,000 in unpaid child support. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, not your wife, not your problem. She can't ignore her son for years and expect to intrude on his peace and safety. She has to figure out something else. It's sad, and I feel for her kids, but she can't expect to live with you and your son like nothing happened. Her own son does not want her to live with them. She really hurt him after neglecting him for so long. If she wants to mend their relationship, she should do it when she's not desperate to find a place to stay, so he won't doubt her sincerity. Not the a-hole. Not just ignore, but actively refusing to send $10,000 of court-mandated child support to OP. She expects him to help her financially after that? Nope, nope, nope. Definitely agree with this. That is just straight-up insanity. She must be absolutely desperate, which is sad, but not your problem in any way. I could see maybe if it was 50-50, but not with you or your son's sanity after finding peace. Good luck. I think you said all the right things. Your sister can offer housing and money if she likes. You are not obligated, especially if she neglected your son and chose her new husband over him. Not the a-hole. You have already handled this exceptionally well. She is reaping what she sowed. I'm sorry she's in a tough situation, but you and your son did nothing to create it. I get tired of people who want to spend someone else's money for them because you can afford it. That argument is so far beside the point it's ludicrous. Stand firm. Your son is lucky to have you. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my ex-husband's affair child to my daughter's birthday party? I absolutely stand by what I did, but my ex-mother-in-law feels like I'm so cold-hearted and that I was wrong for saying no. I don't think she realizes it's her son's fault for all of this. Oh, I do admit that I was wrong for calling him an affair baby. Calling him son would have been fine. I, 35 female, have 3 daughters with my ex-husband, 37 male. We've known each other since we were kids, so we have a lot of history and a lot of chemistry that doesn't go away. We got married and it was the best day of my life. That was the start of our new lives, being loyal. What I wasn't aware of was that he was having a long affair with my so-called friend. It still pisses me off because I trusted her. She had been to my house, smiling in my face while this was going on. Also, I'm not blaming just one person. I'm blaming both of them. The part that made me want to throw up is that they had a secret baby. 5 months later, I found out the whole truth. My ex had another phone. There were messages, explicit pictures, and lovey-dovey conversations. I was disgusted. You give a man loyalty, and he still does you wrong? He didn't know I found out because I acted like everything was okay so I could build a case for the divorce. It was crazy because we already had 3 kids, and he goes and does this. Fast forward, it's been 4 years since the divorce was finalized. I do think my life has been good. You know, I'm taking care of myself and the kids and getting back into dating. We are still co-parenting. The kids do go over to their dad's house sometimes, and they see their brother. They just started getting close to him because during the first 2 years, my ex-friend didn't want my kids around him. So they've been around him since he was 3, and now he's 4. He's gotten used to them because he always cries when they leave. I've been around him a few times. Last year, he was at my annual Easter hunt for the kids. My ex, on the other hand, he's going through it. His baby's mother is not in their child's life, and when she is, she's only asking for money. He used to be a good-looking man, but now he's gained weight and looks like his soul was sucked out. It's crazy how 2 people can change each other. So my 6-year-old daughter's birthday is coming up, and I asked her who she wants there. I already added the immediate family, but I wanted to know if she wanted friends. She told me who she wanted, but said she doesn't want her brother there. I tried to ask her if she was sure because I do try to help them have a healthy sibling bond, but she didn't want it. I got a text from my ex asking if I knew what I wanted to do for our daughter's birthday. I told him I had everything planned and decided to tell him that our daughter doesn't want his son there. I already knew he was going to blame me and say I made her say that. I don't speak badly about their brother because he did nothing to me. I was correct because he went off, saying I don't want his son there and that I'm blaming it on our daughter, even though I didn't. I tried to calm the situation down, but he wasn't hearing anything I said, so I hung up. Now he ran with this and told his mom, so I cussed her out because y'all are not about to gang up on me. Not the a-hole. It's your kid's birthday, and she is the one in control of the guest list. It's her day, and you are protecting it. Good for you. A grown man telling mommy on you? That's just sad. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. But can we get the full divorce story? Why is she not in her son's life? She ruined your marriage and friendship just to not be in her son's life? Weird, I need the juicy details. I mean, that's really it. I don't talk to her, so I don't know why she doesn't want to be in her son's life. If he wants his son there, he can plan and throw his own party. I'd stop inviting him altogether and protect my peace. Literally. And I don't invite my ex because we've been doing this separate party thing for years, so I don't know why he's acting brand new. You need to harden your skin a little bit. Yeah, I second this. While it's nice to be able to have blended family events with all the siblings, the reason you two broke up is probably going to make this very difficult to manage. It might be wiser to make it each parent's responsibility from this point on to celebrate or mark holidays and birthdays separately. Then hosting, engaging with, or managing your husband's affair child never becomes something you have to deal with again. You guys have many years of co-parenting ahead of you. Please pick sustainable practices so that your kids know what to expect and can gain comfort from knowing the routine. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my sister-in-law who strangled me when I was 16 at the house? When I, 22 female, was 16, my brother's wife, she was in her late 20s at the time, strangled me during an argument. I honestly don't remember exactly what the original argument was about. I remember trying to walk away multiple times. I went into another room, but I could still hear her yelling about me. I came back because I was upset and started arguing again. I'd like to add that now that I'm an adult, I would have never gone back to continue arguing. I know better now that it's simply not worth it, but I was 16 and didn't have all the coping skills I have now. At that point, my brother and his wife forced me to the ground, and she put her hands around my neck and strangled me. My brother eventually stepped away. My mom was there and actually left the room and went to her bedroom. She didn't intervene until I had gone silent and my face had turned purple. I remember my vision going completely black. My sister even has a video of it but refuses to show it to me. I didn't call the police at the time. I've been in situations before where the adult's version of events was believed over mine, and I honestly didn't think anyone would take my side. To this day, my brother's wife has never apologized to me for strangling me. Fast forward to now. I'm 22. I lived alone from 18 to 21, but recently I've hit some hard times, and I'm living at my mom's house again. However, I pay rent to live here. Recently, my mom wanted to bring my brother's wife over to the house again. I told her I was not comfortable with someone who strangled me being in my home. I feel like that's a pretty basic boundary. I'm not telling anyone they can't have a relationship with her, but I don't want her in the house where I live. My mom still wanted to bring her over, and I basically crashed out about it. I yelled and made it very clear that I don't understand why anyone would even want someone who violently assaulted their daughter around them, let alone inside the house. After that, my mom ended up going somewhere else to meet her instead of bringing her to the house, but it took a lot of protesting and lots of arguments. Now my entire family is acting like I'm crazy and unreasonable for reacting the way I did. No one is really talking to me normally. My mom says I should just forgive her, but strangulation is a serious assault and should never be taken lightly, especially against a minor. Besides, she's never taken accountability or tried to apologize. From my perspective, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect at least an apology from someone who strangled me or to not want them in my living space. But everyone else in the house is acting like I'm the one who overreacted. Am I the a-hole? That's absolutely insane that your family is minimizing this. Getting strangled isn't some minor disagreement, it's felony assault. The fact she never apologized and everyone just swept it under the rug is wild. Stand your ground on this boundary. It's so refreshing to hear this. Of course, my friends have all said the same thing, but it's nice to hear it from an outside perspective. My family genuinely makes me feel crazy, like I'm missing a piece of the puzzle or something. They see absolutely nothing wrong with this. Not the a-hole. Steal your sister's phone and get the video, then go to the police. Easy, right? Then your parents will realize how serious this is. Listen, just because you argued back does not give anyone the right to almost kill you by choking you. This is the worst way to die. If you don't do anything now, they're going to keep doing this until you normalize hanging out with the person who almost killed you. The rest is up to you if you want to be treated like this. Unfortunately, the statute of limitations is up. Even if I had the video myself, there's nothing I can do legally now. I wish I had the courage to call the police back then. The reason I didn't is a whole different rabbit hole. I just didn't trust that I would be believed or that anyone would have my back. Then leave. Your parents or your siblings didn't care when you almost died. It's better if you live with roommates. Paying bills won't matter. They're going to keep disrespecting you. Last story. Am I the a-hole for losing my cool and yelling at my influencer's sister-in-law over her constant filming and lack of respect for my daughter's boundaries? I have a 13-year-old daughter, Susie. My sister-in-law has 2 boys, 8 and 11, who are deep into the Canadian hockey/baseball travel tournament lifestyle. She's a stay-at-home mom and went down the Instagram/TikTok family lifestyle influencer rabbit hole. Over the last year, she's leaned hard into the hockey mom thing by posting hotel reviews, game pics, and travel tips. She wants to turn her page into a full family brand. When her boys were younger, she used to say she wished she had a daughter to do girly things with. I included her in a few things with Susie, like picking out her first communion dress. Back then, she was sweet, supportive, and genuinely the cool aunt. Lately, every family event has become content. She films everything, stages candid moments, and narrates like she's vlogging. At Christmas, she tried to dictate the whole day. Gifts, crafts, and movies all became scripted. The older cousins hid in the basement to escape being filmed. Susie later told me she hated being recorded and didn't want to be on sister-in-law's pages. Apparently, sister-in-law kept pestering her to braid her hair, decorate cookies, etc. for content. Susie didn't know how to shut it down, so she made herself as un-influencer-friendly as possible. Eye rolls, nose-picking, etc. Last weekend, we went out for my mom's 70th. Sister-in-law immediately started filming again. making the whole dinner awkward until her partner snapped at her to stop. During dinner, Susie mentioned she was going dress shopping for her grade 8 graduation. Sister-in-law lit up and started pushing to come so she could expand her brand into full family content. I ignored her, but she kept pushing. In the parking lot, she asked again for the time and place. I snapped. I told her my daughter is not her prop, not her girl substitute, and she does not have permission to film or post her. She got defensive and said I was stifling her creativity and that she needs my daughter because she doesn't have one. I told her off loudly and colorfully. Susie heard, but with 2 parents who work in construction, she's heard worse. Later, sister-in-law started a group chat saying I was rude, mean, and embarrassed her, and that everyone posts everything these days. She demanded an apology. I refused and reiterated our boundaries. My siblings backed me up and said they also don't want their kids in her content. Sister-in-law hasn't responded since. I know I raised my voice, but she has ignored every boundary. My priority was protecting Susie's boundaries. Unequivocally, I know I am not the a-hole for that, and I will never apologize. However, my sister-in-law just didn't get it. So, am I the a-hole for yelling at sister-in-law the way I did? Also, any pics I have in my history of Susie are posted with her permission. My first attempt at writing this resulted in a 2,000-word, 10,000-character post, so many details have been omitted. Edit. There is no content containing my daughter online, only sister-in-law's kids and partner. Everyone sucks. You should have dealt with it much earlier in the process. If other kids were hiding to avoid it, why didn't you team up with their parents to shut this down? Instead, you lacked spine and waited until it got out of control and lost your temper. I don't blame you, but it didn't have to happen that way. She only started trying to use my daughter within the last few months, since Christmas. At this point, there is no content containing my daughter online. Not the a-hole, but also, buy your daughter a couple custom t-shirts and hoodies that say I do not consent to being filmed, and on the line below, have it reversed, so even if the image is mirrored, it is readable. And some heavily trademarked characters so you can report her content. It won't hold up under a proper review, but it would get videos taken down for a time and make viewer counts lower. I've heard of people loudly blasting Disney music on their phones when someone starts filming them without permission. Not the a-hole. She has no right. Your child is her niece, the human being, not a branding opportunity. Furthermore, your daughter has expressed that she does not want to be part of it, and your sister-in-law needs to respect not just your wishes, but her niece's as well. You did not embarrass your sister-in-law. She embarrassed herself. Everyone posts everything online today is not true and not a valid excuse. There are actually places working on legislation so children under 15 cannot appear on social media and to regulate family vlogging. I believe something was just mentioned about that in Canada. Fingers crossed.